let's talk about George Kirby. We'll save Luis Castillo for after Kirby. So, George Kirby, his WAR's up there. Despite having a shaky start and having some shaky outings this year, he's top 10 in the American League in F4 right now, too. He's 7th. But he's also 24th in ERA. That's entering Thursday. Strikeout to walk ratio is off the charts. Of course it is. Shocker. It's actually 2nd in baseball. Funny enough, you wouldn't think somebody would overtake George Kirby in K to walk ratio, but Zach Eflin has been really good. And his K to walk ratio is higher than Kirby's right now, regardless. Kirby's 24th in ERA. Now, a lot of the expected categories, he's in the top 10. 8th in xERA, 6th in FIP, 8th in xFIP. And he, much like Logan Gilbert, has dominated in the month of June. He's got a 150 ERA. He's walked 3 guys. He struck out 19 guys. He's got a real shot. Do I think he has a better shot than Logan Gilbert? I don't. Because Logan sustained the success longer than Kirby has this year. He's often pitched deeper into games than Kirby has this year. And he's just been a little bit more dominant. Kirby's been great. But when you look at expected numbers, you can't expect everybody to do that when voting guys into the All-Star game. Being top 10 in F4 will help. The fact Kirby is a name will help. And that's so much we have to factor into this too, right? Name brand is going to matter. George Kirby has turned himself into a bit of a name brand over the last couple years. The fact he throws so many strikes, the fact he throws so hard, the fact he's been an all-star already, that'll help. That's going to help Kirby. Is it enough? I think the fact he's pitching this well in June is a big deal. I think the fact he's got a 1.5 ERA this month really is going to stick out to people, but he's one of those guys where maybe he's on the outside looking in right now. Maybe he's just a step out. Because again, we already outlined 9 guys, 9 starters that, barring injury, probably have a real chance to make the All-Star game. But if Kirby continues to have a couple more really dominant starts, he may level himself up right into the A-list category to get himself into the game. I think it's right on the fence right now for George Kirby. Honestly, I'd put him 2nd behind Logan Gilbert. I'd put him ahead of Luis right now. I think George Kirby, with a couple more good starts, has a real shot. Right now, this second, would I say he's an all-star? No. I think we're going to have to see what his next month looks like until it's time for these guys to fly down to Dallas. But he's trending in the right direction right now, that's for sure. The fact he started to turn this around so well and have such a dominant month, that matters. That really matters. It does. So the fact he is 24th in ERA probably has him a little lower on the totem pole right now. But the fact that that's the thing about his expected numbers here too, right? It should trend up. It should continue to trend up. That's what expected data will tell you, that while his ERA might rank lower in the American League right now, he's probably due for some positive progression back to the mean. And we started to see it here in June. Hopefully, for the Mariners' sake and for his sake, it continues. Because then they'd have another chance at a real all-star. Guy number 3, Luis Castillo. Right now, look, and he didn't have a great start here on Thursday, right? Gave up 5 runs, didn't work deep into the game. Cleveland got to him a little bit. Luis entered today 17th in the American League in earned run average, which again, puts him probably right in that next tier. He's not a lock, but he's got a chance with some good starts. Although I'd say this start in Cleveland probably knocked him down a little bit. So now he sits at a 3.63 ERA. In the rest of the American League, he entered Thursday, top 10 in Ks. That helps. 11th in strikeouts per 9. He's 16th in F-WAR. And he's got, entering today, he had a 3.5 ERA in June. Now that's ballooned up. So while Kirby is trending in the right direction, and Gilbert's all around been good while also having a great June, Luis Castillo's not having a great June. I think that's going to play a factor. I think if he has another clunker or two, he might get taken out of consideration. Now, being a name brand helps. I'd say Castillo's even more of a name brand than George Kirby. He's the biggest name brand in this rotation because he's been there before. He's been an ace in Cincinnati, in Seattle. He was in the All-Star game last year. He's made 3 All-Star games in his career. But if he's not going to pitch well in June, that could balloon things a little bit. Again, I know Luis Castillo on paper is the biggest name brand in this rotation. but I don't think he's been the ace of the staff this year. I think what we've seen out of Luis Castillo a lot this year, he's gone 6-2 a lot after he got off to the rocky first couple starts. He's put together a lot of 6-2s, very competitive starts, very good starts, kept his team in the game. There's no doubt he's been good. He just hasn't quite been the elite arm that he's been at times in years past. Dominant from start to finish, working deep into the game. His changeup for the third year in a row is really getting hit hard. Good pitcher. Very good pitcher even. I don't know if he's quite an all-star this year. Unless something really turns around in the next couple starts, I think you're looking at George Kirby and Logan Gilbert sitting ahead of Luis Castillo. Because the Mariners likely are not going to get 3 starters into this all-star game. They could get 2. 3 feels unlikely. So not only will Luis Castillo have to continue to pitch better, he's going to have to surpass one of his own teammates. Right now, I would say Logan Gilbert and George Kirby are ahead of Luis Castillo, especially the way that they're pitching. So I would say in order of the starting pitchers, it probably goes Logan, Kirby, Luis. I think that makes the most sense. Again, I think Gilbert's actually a step ahead of everybody else. I think Logan Gilbert, of the starting rotation, has the best chance to get in. I think his reputation speaks for itself. I think the numbers speak for itself. I think his dominance speaks for itself. I think that's where the Mariners are headed.